How's it going, everybody? Hope you're enjoying Independence Day weekend. Yeah, I am pretty well exhausted. I am going through and doing some rearranging in my office, and mainly doing updates to my displays and all that. And I am really wore out. I've moved furniture and boxes around all over the place, and yeah, I'm tired. Just some of the results of my labor is I'll show you my Iron Man shelf, which looks pretty decent, I think. Not perfect, but decent. And I still got some tweaking to do on it, but I think it's coming out well. You can see a little bit of my Star Wars shelf below. I'm still working on that. I may show you guys my displays when I'm done. I don't have that much display room, but what I do have, I think I take pretty good advantage of. But moving on, what's been going on, what's catching my eye. Well, let me talk about something that's not catching my eye, because somebody was asking me. It's like, I see all these people talking about Umbrella Academy, why aren't you? And I'm going to be honest about it, and this may surprise and piss some people off. I don't like Umbrella Academy at all. I watched the first season and thought it was very derivative, but okay. The second season, yeah, that one really bugged me. One of the biggest scenes was in the coffee shop. After, the coffee shop owner had almost gotten her and her husband, rumor and her husband killed, beaten to death by cops. And then she, makes him pour coffee and it spills out on his hand, and she makes him keep going. And at essence, it was almost like she felt bad for a slap on the wrist. And that was one of the big ones that stuck out to me. And Klaus having a cult, and it was the whole thing. Just, I don't know, it just bothered me. And I said after the second season, I'm not watching season 3. And then to my surprise, I found out this is a very popular show. It's got like 86 on Rotten Tomatoes, and people really do watch it. And no, I'm not. There's nothing about the Elliot Page transition that bothers me in the slightest. Don't get me wrong on that. It's just I had made up my mind on that before that news ever broke. That actually came out between seasons 2 and 3. I just don't like the show. I just don't. And I'm not even getting into the almost incestuous relationship of someone he calls his sister. That's they're not blood related, but that's kind of like Iris and Barry. Why had them be raised together as brother and sister, and then turn around and pull that? It's like, ew. Yeah. But those are some things about Umbrella Academy that bother me, and that's why I've not talked about it. This part of the channel, this is just me talking about stuff that catches my eye, I find interesting. I'm just talking about it, and I generally don't use this to bash other projects. And I'm trying purposefully not to bash Umbrella Academy. I'm trying to say what I don't like about it. I may do a video on bashing it and just saying, okay, this is what I don't like about it. But I'm not prepared to do something like that. I won't say I won't, but I may. It's just one of those things that's kind of weird. So, moving on. Yeah, now this week I posted a little video of my, my lack of toy hunt videos and why, and my little rinky-dink Walmart. Postscript to that story is, guess what? I went back in 4 days later. I've been debating Jane Foster for, and they had slashed the prices of all the Marvel Legends in half. Which is weird. I found that very odd, and there's no rhyme or reason behind it. It just happened. They just did it. It was the day I posted that video that I went in there. So I'm like, I don't think me posting the video led to that. It was just a very weird coincidence that had happened. I think that actually happened beforehand, because Legends were cleared out. Multiverse of Madness and Love and Thunder were gone. Totally gone. So I just thought it was a funny postscript to that little video I posted. And that's another thing. Sometimes, they'll just randomly price something out. Now, grant you, other things they won't. I mean, it's really weird. My Walmart is so weird when it comes to things. But I thought I'd mention that to you guys just to kind of get a little chuckle. And, oh boy, I am so tired. Anyway, what else is going on in the world here? Well, now we got the HISS tank. Yay. And something just fell down behind me. Great. But we got the HISS tank. $300. I'm not backing it. No way, no how, no huh. I mean, I can't afford that first and foremost. I mean, that's the simplest part of it. I also think it's drastically overpriced. You do get, at this point, they unlocked a new figure, so you get 2 figures with it. I think you get a third one if you backed it on the first day. And, you know, I can see why people might find this appealing. My bug is that all these figures kind of look the same. The second figure is a repaint of the HISS driver. The third figure is a female version of the HISS driver, which, yeah, that's still new parts, but, you know, still it's kind of somewhat derivative. And I'm not sold on the classified series yet, as you may have seen from my Beachhead video. And yeah, I posted a lot of videos this week. I really just went into an editing frenzy and just scheduled them out, and then, you know, got them out there. But, yeah, anywho. Another topic. If you've ever watched the channel World of Mr. Gray, I got mentioned on World of Mr. Gray. And I have not done this part of the channel yet. There's me and my wife. We want to do some reactions to some paranormal stuff, because for one thing, my wife is hilarious, and I think I'm kind of funny too. And we have some jokes that we tell during this stuff, during like Slapped Ham and Nuke's Top 5, that we think are hilarious. And we've laughed at each other, and we just thought, oh god, we should record this. And here's our main problem. Every time we try something with the audio, and it's one thing after another. And we have never been able to get that aspect of this channel kicking off. But I mentioned that just because, you know, that is one thing that's not happened yet, that probably will once we get past our audio issues. And it's really strange, our audio issues. It's almost like, you know, the ghosts are like going, no, don't expose us as frauds. Because that's the other thing, is we sit there and we do mild debunkings too. We watch it for entertainment. We don't believe. You know, I'm kind of a believer in ghosts. My wife is not. I'm a believer in the sense that I think there is something, but I have yet to find the evidence. And she's more like, if there's evidence, I've seen it by now. So I can understand her point. That's one of the few things we disagree on, but you know, it's not a major disagreement. Anywho, yeah, well, Mr. Gray, he's a debunker of a lot of things about quote-unquote ghost hunting. He's even debunked a few things from ghost hunters themselves. Ooh, that was good. Yeah. And, you know, Taps. Remember those guys, don't you? But anyway, Gray mentioned my comment. And you know, he was talking about SLS cameras and how they can't track, you know, it can't track multiple people because it can't see through the skeletal doohickey, and it has to be overlaid, which I agree with. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, of course that's right. You know, I never even, you know, I truthfully had not thought of that until he mentioned it. And but I knew that the SLS footage was faked. I mean, I just couldn't figure out, you know, A, why, and then I realized, you know, people just want recognition, and B, what were they doing? How are they doing it? And as I made a comment, and I basically, and I did say this, I said, great video. I can hear the, you know, and this is my exact quote. I can hear the counter arguments being said about, you know, oh, well, ghosts are invisible, so that's how the SLS camera has X-ray vision. I kind of meant it as a joke, and because I was trying to say, you know, it amazes me the mental gymnastics people go through. You know, my one thing was like, I almost felt like Gray was saying that's what I was saying, and it wasn't. I was saying that's what I think other people are saying. But I got mentioned. Hey, who cares? I mean, you see the comment when he says it. So, I mean, if you read fast enough, you see that's what I say. Is I actually go and talk about the mental gymnastics. I think that's my exact quote there, too, is mental gymnastics. But, it's always fun when you get a mention on another channel. And, I mean, he didn't mention anything about this channel, but, hey, I just like that, I got a mention. And, so, yeah, and then he did a whole other video explaining that aspect and how that doesn't work. And, and it was a good explanation. He got kind of tongue-tied and brain farted a little bit. He did it on a live stream. So it was kind of funny to watch him try to explain it, but you understood it when he said it, kind of thing. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, no, he didn't explain anything. He fumbled and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, shut up. But wanted to mention that, I'd go visit World of Mr. Gray's fun channel. A lot of debunking, a lot of sort of, I don't want to say reaction videos, but analysis videos of the other channels. And honestly, Gray is one of the guys that made me think it's this aspect of my channel that I want to do with joking about paranormal videos, because I think it would be fun, for one thing. I think it would be funny, for another thing. And this channel is all about the aspects of my life that I enjoy. Things I enjoy. Things I enjoy. This channel is all about the things I enjoy. And me talking about the things I enjoy in various ways and states and all that. Everything from Marvel Legends to action figures to movies to television and other things, miniature painting, etc. This is the way my YouTube is. If you ever were to see all my channels that I like, that's my YouTube right there. Is like all that stuff. And I do admit I really like the people who are really real, and come across as real. I don't much like the quote professional reviewers, and I don't know. Maybe in my reviews I need to step away from that a little bit. I guess I'm digressing quite a lot right now because I'm a little introspective. Well, let me also talk about Maniac. This is getting on another topic. It was I want to say Discourse Miniatures talked about this initially, and then I saw the video from Maniac, and then I was kind of like going, because I'm not a big Warhammer guy. My big experience with Warhammer is like in the 80s and 90s when they had single packs, but they'd have some really cool creatures, like really cool orcs, really cool trolls, stuff like that. I'd pick those up and paint those. I played a little Warhammer back in the fantasy days, but it was not my top game or anything like that. It wasn't, I wasn't huge into it. I was a big D&D guy, so that helps you out. Anywho, he was talking about, and I'm going to really shorten this story so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about, and you can go, I'll link his video, and you can go watch it for yourself. He posted something on his Instagram, and that he didn't realize that, from what I gathered, he didn't realize that he wasn't supposed to post it. It was an early shot. And it's like, oh, you're getting this exclusive shot, but don't post this until we tell you. So, the guy, he was told to take it down. He took it down quickly. And then, what happened is that it also posted to his Facebook. I don't know if you've ever seen where Instagram does that. It's done it to me a couple of times. I hate it. At Essence, he was kicked out of the con. It was a little embarrassing for him, and I can understand that. At the same time, I'm sitting here thinking when I'm hearing all this stuff, I'm like, I have a hard time with the idea of YouTube channel people getting free stuff and then not talking about the price. Because to me, price plays a part. That Rhino, I just reviewed the Rhino for Marvel Legends. I'm really confused on that price because I also got Ulick this week, and he was a few dollars less. And I also got the Maestro, and he was a few dollars less than Ulick. So, you know, I know the argument is part of it is the card, but really, is the card really that expensive? I mean, I don't know. And what's the difference between Ulick and the Maestro? Again, I don't know. Look for my, I should say, oh look, not Ulick. Oh my! Ulick. I should mention my Ulick review in a few days. Should be up in a few days. I literally just got it today. So, anyhow, back to this. It's like, okay, so, you know, people get this stuff for free. And I struggle with that. Because I'm like sitting here going, well, I wouldn't mind stuff for free. At the same time, you know, I'm not going to be a shill. So, you know, I mean, it'll be nice. It would be nice if I got to the point that companies would send me a few things. I wouldn't mind at all. I am not going to bet the farm that'll ever happen. So I'm not going to worry about it. But hey, you know, at the same time, it's like, well, what is your goal with this channel then? If that's not the goal, well, my goal is to just talk about what I like. It's that simple. Here's the stuff I like: the board games, the miniatures, the action figures, the TV shows. This is just me talking about stuff I like. That's it. I'm just a real person. I mean, you know, I just said, real people seem to be the ones I like the most. They're the most entertaining to me. Some of them are funny. Some of them are poignant. Some of them are weird. All of them are okay. So, you know, the ones that seem real to me are the ones I really pay attention to the most. I mean, even if it's a famous person. There's a couple of famous people who do Ethan Page. Ethan Page, he does toy hunts every Sunday. But when he does his toy hunts, he seems very genuine about it. You know, he's doing this for fun. And he even collects some stuff. He collects stuff I don't collect. But I like watching his toy hunts because he's having a good time. And so, you know, that's one I watch on a pretty regular basis. There's a good example. He's a famous person who seems real. You know, Greg Cook, toy hunter. He's another one. I mean, genuine guy. He seems like a very genuine guy. I like the fact that he's a genuine guy. You know, and that's what he does. He takes you on his toy hunts with him. He's got a few other stuff that I've looked through his channel and found a few other nifty things. I mean, it's just interesting. But again, you know, that's what I'm doing here. Is I'm just talking about my stuff. What I like. So, I don't know. I just thought something to be said. I mean, going through, still figuring out what this channel is, but going through some transitions of what it is and thinking about it. So, there's that. Anyway, to wrap this up, we have Stranger Things 4. Wow. Spoiler alert if you've not seen it. Glad you're staying. Okay, so, not a deep dive or anything like that. I'm avoiding deep dives into too many things because it just takes too long. But, you know, I'm going to talk about some stuff. Very spoilerific. First off, I really kind of thought Eddie was going to die, unfortunately, and I was right. I didn't see anywhere for his story to go, though. Because, I mean, everybody thought he was a murderer. He was running from the law. And even if he had survived, what was he going to do next? Keep running from the law for the rest of his life? I mean, granted, 11 has to do that, too. That's a little different. I mean, I did like that scene with Justin and his uncle was just heartbreaking. That was so heartbreaking. And it was so good. And props to those actors and those writers for that scene. That was so good. And that ending was, you know, I mean, they say there's a time jump between season 4 and 5. I don't see how there can be. It doesn't look like there should be. And if there is, what are you doing, you guys have been fighting this for all this time, and now it's here, and you're just gonna what? Hang out? Let's play some D&D, guys. You know, I don't think that matches up. It's kind of weird. That's kind of weird to me. So I don't know what to think on that one. I don't know. Anybody got a thought there? My little theory about Will being more about the Upside Down might still have some merit. He of course could sense what was going on, so maybe there's a bit of attachment there with Will. I don't know. Max being in a coma surprised me, and I half thought that what was going to happen was Vecna was going to wake up in her body there at the end, and I was like, whoa. But that apparently did not happen, that we know of. I'm really confused, too, on what exactly happened, because Max died, the crack happened, and oh, did you see that kill when that happened? Ooh. If you have not seen this show, and you just got spoiled, don't get mad at me. But God, the way the opening opened up and split the body in half, ugh, gruesome. I mean, it's very subtle too. I mean, they get away with it. But you know, Max died. The crack happened, and then 11 saved Max. And while the damage of the crack was still there, the crack was closed. The way I read it, I saw it, and instead, it seems like no, the crack opened anyway. I'm a little confused, and hopefully that's the first thing they explain next season. And then, you know, discovery that Vecna created the Mind Flayer. Awesome. I like that because it gives you know, that was one of the things that was getting to me about Stranger Things. Was I was like, oh look, it's the creature of the season, and it started to get weighing down, and now we get an actual villain. An actual villain with motivations. And you can kind of understand him. I mean, even though you can say, well, he's off his kilter, but you understand where he's coming from. So, you know, it made the show 10 times better. This is by far one of the best seasons they've done. I think that finale is one of the best TV season finales I've ever seen. I liked it so much, it ended on a cliffhanger, and I still liked it. I despise cliffhangers. I've always despised cliffhangers. They kill me. I hate having to wait. But this one ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm okay with that. I really am, because it was just that dang good, man. And I got a feeling the next season's going to be equally as good. So that's my rundown on Stranger Things. I think that's all I've got for the week. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing something, because I always do. And this is a smaller but longer-winded looking around the realms, giving you my thoughts and views on whatever it is I'm looking at. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you later, and stay safe and take care of yourselves, guys.